Hi, welcome to AFTV. It's time for the player ratings. I've got Turkish with me now. Let's start with Aaron Ramsdale, Turkish.
Didn't have much to do, surprisingly. Imagine that. We played Man City and our keeper didn't have much to do. Literally, 2 shots on target from Man City. One was the penalty and the other was that last scrappy goal that I can't really say anything against Ramsdale. Played at the back well. You know me and my ratings. 5 is an average because he had very little to do. Played at the back well. I'd say 6 is fair for him.
6, yeah, I think that's fair. He claimed the ball well from a lot of corners. We saw that as well.
There was one dodgy moment. But after those dodgy moments, it's good to see that it didn't, stop him from coming out again. And that's exactly what I want to see. At the end of the day, Alisson, Ederson, these keepers that play at the back, when they make mistakes, they don't let it affect them moving forward. So Ramsdale, that was the first little kind of mistake he's made for us. It didn't cost us. Yep. He got away with it and just kept his head.
Okay, let's go to the right back, Tomiyasu.
Yeah, my guy, man. Tomiyasu. We needed Tomiyasu today to stand a chance. Yeah. And the fact Sterling...
It was quiet.
Quiet's not even the word. I think that's undermining the job that Tomiyasu did. Sterling was not on the pitch for me. You know that funny question you often get, like, when's Sterling coming on or when's he coming? Yeah. That's what it felt like today. There was no success down that left-hand side for them, and they tried, especially that first half. They really tried, but Tommy, so far, solid for us. One of the candidates for man of the match, so I'm going to give him a 9. 9, and I think that's very well deserved as well. Let's go to Ben White. He was up against Kevin De Bruyne a lot today. What do you give him as a score rating? Done very well against him as well. Yeah. Early on, there was a few duels between them two, and he handled himself well. Out of the 2 centre-backs, he was definitely the standout one, considering what Gabriel done towards the end. But Ben White's growing, and that's what I want to see more of. Him growing. This is a big game for him, big game for us, and he comes out unscathed. For me, 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10, yeah. Okay, let's go to Gabriel. Obviously, got a red card today. Yeah. I thought it was a bit harsh, but I've spoken to a lot of people and they disagree. They said that is how it is nowadays. You can't let things like that happen. So, yeah, Gabriel for you.
If that was Xhaka, do you think it would have been called harsh? And this is coming from someone who's very critical of Xhaka. I think what Gabriel done is what Xhaka's done over the years too. Not learning from mistakes. When Gabriel got sent off against Southampton, it was pretty much the same incident. In behind. And, he's done the same again this season. Luckily for us, it won't cost us in the Premier League because we need him for the Tottenham game. Yeah. But you could say it cost us in the game because even at 1-1, 11-on-11, we had just created a chance and, we was the dominant team, let's be honest. So I think that he kind of ruined our chances of winning the game. And for that reason, aside from that red card and the 60 or so minutes before that he played, I would have said a 7. But because of that and because it cost us, I've got to say 4, to be honest. I've got to go below
average?
Yeah, because yes, it's one moment in a 90-minute game, but that one moment eliminates anything else you've done in that 90-minute game because the points are what matters. Yeah. The win or the draw is what matters, and we didn't get any of it. Yeah. And part of that comes down to a silly decision. Not only the tackle from behind, the penalty spot thing, it's like, to be honest, I haven't seen a player get a yellow card for that. Maybe they do it a bit more discreetly. Yeah. People say it's unfair. For me, don't leave yourself open for the referee to make a decision. And that's what he done with that first one. Maybe unfair, he didn't get a warning between the first yellow and the second yellow, but still learn from your mistakes. This is Man City, it's 1-1, we was in a good position, and you went and done that. So for me, 4. I
think 4, if I take away my bias, because I'm such a big fan of Gabriel, I think 4 is fair, especially when we saw his replacement come on. There was a big difference in that defensive line. Let's go to Kieran Tierney.
Assist. Nice assist as well. Gets his head up and gets the ball to the player. How often do we say that from Tierney on the left-hand side, whether it's crosses or a simple pass into the box like that? He's efficient. Captain to be, I'm going to keep on saying it till the end of the season and hope it comes true. And he dealt with the threat of Mahrez well enough as well, similar to what Tomiyasu did with Sterling. Tierney done the same on that left-hand side. I think Tommy, I put him just above Tierney, so I'll give Tierney an 8.
Okay, let's go into the midfield now. Thomas Partey today for you, Turkish.
Best game in an Arsenal shirt, or best competitive game in an Arsenal shirt. I know you had a good game against Chelsea pre-season, but this one was definitely by far his best performance all round because it comes up against quality opposition. Like I said, Rodri probably the best in his position at the moment, and in all honesty, a mix of Partey and Xhaka dominated. Nullified their threat for the majority too. And when you look at, this ain't a Man City coming in off form. This ain't a Man City that over the past few weeks you've seen gaps. This is a Man City coming in flawless over 10 games, coming in heads high, confident. A couple of their key players rested in the week. Not 1 minute for, I think, Sterling and Mahrez. Yeah. So, you know, Partey for me, man of the match. I'm going to give him a 9 as well, just short of a 10 because of the result and what happened, but that's not on him. So I'm going to say 9, man of the match for me.
9. High numbers for, obviously, for defeat, but well deserved. I think you're right there, Partey. The stuff he was doing, the balls he was playing over the top. Let's go to Granit Xhaka, his partner today.
Similar to Gabriel, you look at the 90-minute performance, or the majority of the time on the pitch, and you'd say he was pretty good. For me, one of his best performances in an Arsenal shirt as well, again because of the opposition, and again because of the way we went about it. He was part of that. That's why when I was rating Partey, I want to mention Xhaka, but similar to Gabriel was a 7, and that moment took him down to a 4. I think Xhaka was probably around a 7 too, but that moment for me probably takes him down to a 5. Average, because it's all good and well being good for 88, 89 minutes, but that 1 minute you let yourself down, in turn the team down, in turn the fans down. Again, learn from your mistakes, mate.
Yeah. Okay, let's go over to Bukayo Saka for you today, Turkish.
Another good performance from him. Confident, growing every single game, well taken goal as well. When the ball came into him, it looked like he was about to set it off, and to be honest, we all wanted that. Yeah, we
screamed it on the match. It was like a set, and then
but he just stroked it in. One take, bang, stroked it in. He's getting more goals now over the last few weeks. There was moments he was quiet in it, but against Man City, you're gonna have those moments. I think he could have taken it to Ake a bit more, but I saw Tomiyasu that was hesitant to overlap, and I guess when you're playing Man City, maybe that's the instruction, and I get it. So Saka goal, good performance, 8 for me.
I'm glad you went with that, because there was times where he was getting doubled up on as well, and he was still dealing with the two players from City. So fair enough. Let's go into Martin Odegaard today. Very vocal, very aggressive in the press. What did you give him today, Turkish?
I'm going to give him a 7. More because of what you just said than his actual performance today. His performances over the last few games in terms of quality and possession have been better than today. But today, what he showed against a big team, better team, a stronger team, is the leadership again. From the get-go, he was the one instructing. If the three start pressing, he's the one looking behind and making sure that the two behind are coming with them. No gaps, no spaces, because at the end of the day, an efficient press needs everyone in unison, and he seems to be the one that knits that together. Maybe that's why he's starting ahead of Emile Smith-Rowe, who's been the more productive this season. It's a good problem to have, but Odegaard for me 7, more so because of his leadership character in such a big game than anything he really done, although he had moments too on the ball, which he created, especially in the first half, openings, breaking the lines. 7 for me.
7, okay. Martinelli?
Should have scored, should have scored in the second half. I know the referee did his best to stop him scoring. But
does that mean, does that wash for you though, as a fan? Do you think?
No, he should have scored regardless of the ref being there or not. He should have scored. Get it on target, it's in. He fluffed his lines in the first half. He created a couple openings for himself.
He had a run.
The run, just wide, and then he had that shot, bending top corner, just wide. So he had his moments, and when Odegaard and the penalty that wasn't given happened, it was Martinelli who controlled a long ball over the top on the touchline, cuts inside, passes to Lacazette to Odegaard. So that chance kind of gets created from 1, the long ball, and 2, Martinelli bringing it down and take. So for me, Martinelli had a good game, but he should have scored 7.
7. Okay, let's go to the captain of today, Alexander Lacazette.
Decent. I mean, that's what Lacazette's about now. Under the radar. I think that's the best you're going to get from Lacazette. When the players around him are performing well, he seems to be the cog that makes that happen.
Doing the dirty work.
Today he was quiet in himself, in isolation. If I look at Lacazette, I wouldn't rate him that highly. But in terms of bringing in others around him, working hard, he brought that. So similar to what I said with Odegaard in terms of not so much quality on the ball and what he done, but more so what he brings for the others. I'm going to give Lacazette just above average and say 6.
And just 6 there, just on Lacazette quickly. Do you think Arsenal should be pushing to get another contract for Lacazette?
Yeah, okay, listen. I've mentioned this before. Beginning of the season, I said we should sell Lacazette and Eddie, because you can get 10 mil a piece and then put 20 mil on another position. We didn't do that. Now we've got a situation with Oba. So now this situation with Oba looks like it's the end of the road for him. We've got to look at Eddie and Laka and say to ourselves, well, we can't replace 3 strikers in one summer. 2's even a stretch, but I think 2 can be done. So who out of the strikers left would I keep? Eddie? No. Laka, for me, a year extension. A year extension because he's brought something. And the strikers that I want, they're quite young. Vlahovic is quite young, Isak's quite young, and I speak about a young side. It's not fair on the whole season relying upon young players. Right. So someone like Lacazette could be that player, that person that kind of keeps it ticking, not only on the pitch but in the dressing room too. Because when we get a striker, I expect Laka to be backup, second, third choice in the next year. So for me, Laka just done what Laka does, man. Under the radar, brings in other players and whatnot. Like I said, 6, and I'd give him a year extension. Okay,
I just wanted to get your opinion on that before we moved on. Let's go quickly rattle through the subs now. We saw Rob Holding come on today. What's your score rating for him?
I'm gonna say Rob Holding 4. Reason being, if you look at the goal we conceded in the 90 whatever minute, it seemed like he tried to read the ball that was coming in, and it seemed like he thought the ball was more coming in to the side of him, round him. So he took a step forward. Instead, the ball came over the top, and that's what put him on the back foot, caught under the ball, and his header is what really created the chance. Because he was on the back foot, he had to reach, headed it backwards into no man's land. That no man's land leads to 2-1 Man City. So I think I've got to mention that because it's a moment. You play well for 89 minutes and you have that one moment. For me, it can tarnish the whole performance. So Holding come off the bench, up until that time didn't have much to do. We defended well, organised well, shaped well, but that one moment he misread the situation, it cost us. So 4 for me.
4, okay. Let's go to Mohamed El Neni.
I can't even rate El Neni and Emil Smith-Rowe because they didn't get enough time, and when you're coming on 10 man against City, especially from Emil Smith-Rowe, I'm not going to expect to see what we've been seeing from Emil recently. So no ratings for El Neni and Emil Smith-Rowe.
Fair enough. Let's go to the ref or VAR and the officiating today.
It has to be a 0, innit? Because of the inconsistency. It has to be a 0 because at the end of the day, I agree that Bernardo Silva's was a penalty. I agree Gabriel's was a harsh red card, although it's a yellow. But Odegaard's was also a penalty. And my question is, why was the ref not asked to look at the video? Now, if the ref went over to that video, a lot of this argument would be squashed because, okay, the ref's done the same thing he's done with the second one. He's gone over and he's made the decision.
It's consistent.
Right now, I'm asking, hold on, did VAR ask you to go and you said no, or did VAR not ask you to go and say, you know what, forget it? Who made that decision? But because there's no clarity on it, there's no accountability, we're always here every week wondering why there's inconsistencies, not only across games and game weeks, but in the same game we're seeing it now. We're seeing 2 different moments, similar, one being looked at, one being ignored, and today it just worked against us. So for me, 0.
Is it just an Arsenal thing, Turkish, that we complain about refs regularly, or is it all the clubs? Do you think the refs aren't just not good enough at the moment, especially with the VAR in the game?
Over the years, like look back at my interviews and stuff, I don't really blame refs much, because Arsenal have been so poor over the last few years that I don't blame certain refereeing decisions for drop points or a lack or finishing 8th. Even though there are moments where I disagree with the ref, I just think there's bigger problems to worry about than worrying about the refs right now. But today,
it's fine margins nowadays.
Today, I actually mentioned the ref because I feel like those decisions went against us, and in all honesty, like firstly the inconsistency is one, but in all honesty, it's like, how can they keep on making the same mistakes without ever addressing our frustrations? Not only as fans, the media say it, pundits say it too. You know, it's everyone is either angry, frustrated, or upset with VAR.
They're very protected, the officials as well.
They're very protected. I don't understand why, but there needs to be more clarity there. So for me, 0.
Okay, let's go to, obviously Mikel Arteta wasn't there today because he tested positive for coronavirus, but let's go to Mikel Arteta and Albert as kind of a pairing.
Listen, I'm here vexed that we didn't get nothing from the game. When I came into the game thinking we can't get nothing from the game. So I guess that's a good thing. What's his name, Stoivenberg? Yes. I think he done all right. You know, I think he just done what Arteta wanted him to do. I think more of the credit goes to Arteta for the performance because of his time here and whatnot. listen, we should have got something from that game. In all honesty, we should have won that game.
Yeah.
And if we had won that game, you know, it's a 10. We didn't win it. I can't blame Arteta for it. I can't blame the assistant for it. But I can't give a 10 either.
Yeah, because the boys went out today. They came out and went at Man City.
Yeah.
So you're right. You can't.
Yeah.
But you can't give it 10. You can't really give it 10. It's a tough one.
It's difficult. I'd say 9 just because I can't give a 10. But then if you ask me why you're giving a 9 and not 10, I can't really justify it with any, you know, substance. I just think when you lose, you can't really give the manager a 10. Yeah. But I'm going to openly admit, today was not on Arteta. Yeah. In fact, he comes at it today looking better than he did before. Which, you know,
it's
a positive.
Look at okay, then we are wrapping up, but we're gonna do the broadcasters today because we watched, we was watching today, and there was just so many things we missed due to the broadcast. So I'm gonna let you rate the broadcasters instead of because we normally do the fans for Robbie, but today the broadcasters we watched.
I've never rated broadcasters before, so I guess there's no measuring stick for me to look off, but. I don't know what they was doing today. 1 minute the penalty goes in, the next minute Martinelli's hitting the post, and then all of a sudden red cards at. I don't know if the editor just took a quick toilet break at that point or something because he wasn't switching the screens quick enough. But
on New Year's, maybe hung over.
Maybe he's conked out in his seat and he's just forgetting to move the camera. But yeah, it was poor today from BT 2-1. Yeah. 2 just because it didn't die.
All right, listen, thank you for watching this player ratings. Let us know your ratings in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And we'll see you next time. Peace.
This show is brought to you by Manscaped. Use the code AFTV for 20% off your order and free shipping at manscaped.com.